Thank you. Big crowd. Thank you. Thanks for everything you do. I hope this is right. I'm going to begin this. I hope this is factually right, but it's kind of cute if it is. 46 years ago yesterday, Marty Cooper stepped outside a New York sidewalk and used a cell phone for the first time. Motorola. Yes, cell phone. Don't you have something to do with this? Why aren't you applauding me? If it was wrong, I would blame my deputy, Gail Slater, but if it's right, I'm going to take full credit for it. All right, well, I'm not going to be long. You'll hear from Chairman Pai later on about our thoughts and policies. I just want to say at the top, we're very proud of our success on overall economic growth. And President Trump is rebuilding the American economy. As you know, we've lowered tax rates. We've had a massive rollback of regulations. We've opened up energy. We've had trade reform. We had 3% growth last year. Outstanding employment numbers, low unemployment numbers across the board. People are working. They're getting paid for it. And more people working successfully, by the way, do not cause inflation. And all of that looks pretty good to us. And we will continue those policies. Now, I'm not here to give an economics talk, but I say that because I believe that the principles that we've worked to rebuild the economy will be applied to the telecom sector and to the whole issue of 5G and 6G and however many Gs we're going to go through in my lifetime. They're free market principles. You know, the president ended the war against business. He ended the war against success. He believes that success should be rewarded, not punished. Some of our friends up on the Hill may not agree with that, but that is our view. So, having noted that, and I also want to note how well we did on 4G, we will apply the exact same free enterprise principles for 5G. That is our policy. And we will continue the process of auctioning off spectrum and then letting the private companies run with it. They are going to do the build-outs, and they are going to do everything necessary. And I want to say, not only will we continue the process, and the FCC is in the midst right now of an auction, with, I guess, another one coming up soon. But the idea that somehow the USA is losing globally, domestically, China, other, whoever, and we should all be pessimistic, it's just not true. We are doing very well. Your latest report, right? The United States is now deploying, by the end of this year, and already begun, 92 areas. 92. That's a very big number. We thought that number was in the 20s. And your report updated us to 92. So that's twice as much as South Korea, which is a far second. The United Kingdom is at 16. And the dreaded China is 0. 0. Now, if those numbers are wrong, please don't blame me. I'm reading off your sheets, right? You are CTIA. You're the trade group. So hope you're right. But those are compelling numbers. And I think it shows that we should stay on the free enterprise track. I don't want the government to run this. I mean, the government will be engaged. We have a national security piece that will be engaged. But on the whole, we're issuing it to private companies, and they will do the build-out. And seems to me it's working just fine. So this is a kind of pitch for I don't know, free enterprise, free market. There's a guy who used to do a TV show years ago, long since forgotten, who used to start the show every night with something like free market capitalism is the best path to prosperity. I could see I had a big impact on this group. Anyway, that was me. I still believe that. I lost the show. I can't hold a job. I get that. I'm now gratefully working for President Trump, but this is an example of free market capitalism at work, and I think it's the best way to do this. I have, in an earlier speech last fall, talked about this 5G and the whole telecom revolution, and Mr. Marty Cooper, whom I've never met. But so my model here is creative destruction, gales of creative destruction. Private sector will figure things out far better than the government sector will. You'll be way ahead of us. You always are. And Schumpeter, who was a very famous economist, I think he died in the early 1950s, wrote great books about gales of creative destruction. I spoke to him last night to see if I was still on the right track. I commune with him periodically. He said, yes, I am on the right track. It's the right path for 5G. I mean, he was really up to speed on this. And in all seriousness, as I say, it's working. And that's why I think the volume of deployments, which took us all by surprise with your survey, 92 deployments is a very big number. And we'll stay with this. We will stay with this. And also, of course, and I'm not going to go through a lot of numbers, but not only will this allow us to do everything faster and have greater connectivity and to do things with cars and airplanes and washing machines and Lord knows what. It's a lot of stuff I don't even understand. I just know it happens real fast now. And I think that's got to be a good thing. And I think the investment possibilities are terrific. And the job creating possibilities are terrific. And those are additional reasons why I don't want the government to run this thing. And again, there will be a national security piece without question. But it seems to me what we're doing is the right way. And we will continue to do that. We're even going to try to help with some additional deregulation measures. There's some issues perhaps reaching the rural areas of the country. I know that's not an easy thing, but we're going to try to help on the permitting side to unlock that. We spoke to an important telecom provider yesterday about this issue. The president wants to get into the rural areas and the farm areas, so it's balanced. We're running through the cities. It's working very, very well. And again, the numbers here are staggering. I mean, preliminarily, we're looking for investments of something like $400 billion to the American economy with almost 2 million in new jobs. So you'll do your part in helping us to rebuild the American economy. I think it's great. And we want as much entrepreneurship as possible. As I say, the president's philosophy, ending the war on business, you should be rewarded for the risks you take. We'll keep taxes and regulations down. Just take a rip at the ball. That's the thing. Just take a rip at the ball. And we'll see what happens. I think the results are good. Now, I would ask one favor. We do need help from whomever of you deal with this stuff. Around the world, there's an issue of standards and standard setting. It's not so much deployment. Apparently it's standards, and there's government standards and private sector standards, and we want you to help us generate the best standards that are compatible with the American industry and the companies around the world that we use. So I don't want certain countries to run away with a lot of standard setting. I'm told that has not happened yet. I'm told it's a threat. So I will raise it. We will ourselves at the administration raise it as a matter of our own national security policy. We want to make sure that the door is open for American companies and their related suppliers. But basically, we're winning. And basically, we have a tremendous start to a difficult problem. And basically, and I don't know why this is, maybe it's just a sign of the times, the media portrayal of our story on 5G is so negative. And best I can tell from looking at the evidence and talking to experts, it's just not true. We're doing fine. As I say, I'll use your number again. If you're wrong, fess up real fast. But deployments the end of 2019, 92, that means there'll be a hell of a lot more in 2020. And as the president has said, we met on this in the Oval yesterday, we want to go to whatever, 5G, 6G, 7G, I don't know how many Gs there are, but I think this is the right model to do it. I think Chairman Pai of the FCC has done a terrific job. We wholeheartedly support his efforts, and we want you all to join us. So if you know Marty Cooper, say hello for me. If you know Joseph Schumpeter, please say hello for me. But most of all, join us. Please work hard as we generate free market incentives. Join us in making America the 5G leader and spreading our word all around the world. We will do it right. We usually do. And that's my message to you. Thank you very much for having me.